What's up, YouTube and everybody out there? This is Don Freeman. I'm back. Had a bit of time off when I wanted to do a video last Saturday or something. Got sidetracked, and today's Thursday. But I came back on here. I was watching Jim Cramer on MSNBC, and he was doing that Am I Diversified? And I just looked at it like that's one thing that I think that's something. Hello? So I'm watching Jim Cramer talking about am I diversified, being diversified in your stocks and your what you hold in your portfolio. And so I was kind of, thinking about what I have. Like I maybe said before, I got a lot of the covered call ETFs. I got a lot of real estate REITs and a lot of business-to-business lending companies. But then I also have, in general, ETFs that they cover a wide variety of the stock market. I have, one of the ETFs pretty much covers all the Russell 2000, 3000 small caps. I got one that is generally most of the broader stock market and could be considered worldwide, which is the SDIV. And then I got a stock that an ETF that covers most of Europe and Asia, and that's EFAS, and that is pretty much helped me have some foreign stock exposure. The covered call ETFs, they do some of the same things as holding some of the SPY and the main stock market. And so, when I was thinking about watching him doing Am I Diversified, I feel like I'm already diversified. I'm not looking for any type of way of getting heavy weighted in certain ways of being diversified. Like on his show, what they're doing, they're trying to have the industrials, pharma, tech, maybe oil, consumer products. You can split those up even more, like telecoms, oil services, fintech, but they're all derivatives of some of those main things. So, and financials. But I look at it like, I feel like I'm pretty diversified already. I was reading my book here, one of the books I had, Investing for Dummies. This is probably one of the first books you want to read because it's very general about investing. On my other videos, I talked about doing dividend investing for dummies. And I have another book called ETFs for Dummies. And so those are getting kind of geared to one aspect of it, investing. There's other books I'm going to read too. But I look at it like I want to be geared to some of the stocks or some of the ETFs that are going to give me a pretty nice yield. I want to have a yield that, with little bit of money, like right now, I'm sitting around 10,250, something like that. And so, if I'm getting, in and around 10%, that's 1,020 or something like that a year, maybe, give or take. You're talking about 12 months. of a dividend payout, and that's a good way of getting some extra, you know, exploding of your dividends of your stock. And so, certainly, growth is an aspect that I would like to have, but um, when it comes to the stock market in general, like they always say, the stock market goes up on a basis maybe 10% over time, year by year. Some years it goes down, some years it goes up considerably. When you do the average, the stock market moves in, 10% a year. So I'm looking at my stocks as, you know, getting, maybe in and around 10% in dividends. And then, if my ETFs hold true to what the stock market does on a year to year basis, that may be in and around and close to 10%. And so I'm happy with that. Did I say 10%? Maybe closer to 20% at the end of the year, but I'm happy with that. And that would be really good for any account, because your bank's not going to pay you hardly anything, and you got to deal with inflation also. And people talk about dealing with inflation, and inflation is definitely a problem, but you got to look at your budget. You got to look at how you're budgeting yourself. I went to get some fast food for lunch today for work, and they still have deals, a couple dollars for a sandwich or something like that. But if you're buying, the number 1, 2, 3 on the list right now, you're looking to pay, $8, $9, $10 for a lunch of a premium sandwich and a large fry and a large drink. So you got to look at your budget. Do you want to continue to do that because of inflation? Inflation's going to eat you alive if that's what you have to eat every day. I still bring in my TV dinners. Sometimes I make a stir fry or something on a Sunday, and that's maybe 2 meals during the week. So you got to look at your budget. You got to look at how you're budgeting and keeping your money in your pocket. Today I went out and they had gas cheaper on my way to work, so I bought a little bit at $3.39 was the price for unleaded. Then I went to the bank in Huber Heights, and on my way there, gas prices were going down even more. I bought some more gas at $3.33 a gallon unleaded, and then as I got by my bank, the Kroger's in Huber Heights had gas for $3.19. I wish I would have knew that, because I had already filled the tank up. But those are things that you got to think about when you're thinking about your budget, keeping money in your pocket and keeping money that you're able to invest or build your emergency fund. And that's one thing that I'm trying to get back. As I said in one of my previous videos, last year I was in the hospital. I racked up a lot of bills. I'm probably paying, I got some financial assistance for the bills I got, which brought it down to me paying $164 a month, probably for the next year and a half or two, something like that, which to me, that's not a big deal. I no longer have a car note. I pay for my insurance by the 6 months, which saves you money. And those are things that you got to think about when you want to have something on the side to invest with. Sitting out here, having a nice day. I'm back out here at Clark State. And when I was looking at some of my dividends coming in, so far in May, I had some nice dividends come in. Uh, one or two that probably should have came in at the no, I'm looking at May. Right. Coming in at June, going back looking at June, I had a little bit of a dividend having 2 shares of Jeppy, and I sold out of my Jeppy this month just because I wanted to add more to the yield max for Apple. And so I got a couple dollars from my AGNC mortgage REIT, $1 from my preferred stock ETF, which helps me with diversity of different types of stocks. A couple dollars from my SDIV, $1.50 off my EFAS. My first, like I said, maybe in my last video, my first dividend from my Apple high yield max ETF. I got $3.50, and that's for holding around 12 shares. And then I got 2 dividends coming from my 6th Street, which is a kind of like a business-to-business company. But I got 44 cents on the 20th, and I'm looking to get $5 on the 30th. And then another $3.50 from my Prospect Capital business-to-business lending company. And then so far, I've also got another 16, maybe close to $16.50 for one of my covered call ETFs, the XRMI. I got almost another $7 for my Orchard Island, which is another real estate REIT, and then another $1 for the XSHD, which is the small caps ETF. And of course, all of these I'm going to continue to buy. And then I still need to be getting reports from a couple more. One of them, like, for instance, my YYY, which is a ETF that deals with not really holding stock, but holding other investments and other indexes. And so last month, I had $27, almost $27.50. I added to it, and I'm going to continue to add. Maybe next week I'll add to it. So I'm looking for that one to maybe give me close to $30. And then my DIVO, DIVO, last month it gave me $11, and I added to that. So maybe another, a little bit over $11, maybe $11.20. And so that's kind of a rundown of some of the dividends that I've been getting. You know, it all sounds good and feels good. As long as you don't have any type of problems that crop up. I had a buddy at work, and he had left the other day, and as he rode out of there, I could hear his brake squeaking in the back. Well, I talked to him today, and he said, oh yeah, I got my brakes fixed. He had to do the rotors, the brake lines at the rotor, and the pads in the back on both sides, and that came out to $1,700. And me personally, I got a truck right now which I need to do brakes on, and so I'm kind of, you know, thinking like I don't want to have to pay out $1,700, $2,000, whatever they're going to charge me right now for anything. Of course, this guy took it to Grismer's, which I would never go to Grismer's. I watched a guy leave Grismer's, and I was at the car wash, and his Corvette, the wheel was wobbling. And then I pulled him over, and he said, "I thought something was wrong." I said, "Man, he probably got your brake caliper and everything. Maybe the pads was in there cockeyed, because that happened to me once. If you put the pads in on a rotor cockeyed, then when you put the caliper on, the caliper can't be all the way on. And then when you put the wheel on, even though you get the lugs all the way down to where they need to be, the wheel's not all the way on. And so that's big problems. And so, I've seen them do that. I would never go to them. We got a place here in Springfield that I wouldn't mind taking it to, called Brake Pros. And, certainly I got my backyard mechanics too, who I got good friends who I would trust with that. But that's not an expense that I'm looking to pay on right now. And so it is what it is. When I really need it, I'll get to it. That's one of the things I'm doing right now with my emergency fund, is building it up so that I can pay for an expense like that and not feel bad that, hey, I paid for this, and I also wanted to have extra money just in case anything comes up. I always look at it like this. I want to have money for, problems, car problems, having to travel for any unforeseen reason. Maybe I have to miss work. And so, that's a little bit over $100 a day if I'm missing work. Certainly other car problems. If I get a tow, if anything happens to me between, I drive between Springfield and New Carlisle, north of Dayton. So why should I not have backup money just in case I need a tow and need to have the work started? So those are all things that you need to think about. So I didn't want to hold everybody up too much. I'm still reading my book, and still enjoying myself on a nice day. Overcast. It's probably going to rain tomorrow. And yeah, just remember to like and subscribe. If you have any ideas and you want to ask me a question, in the comments, ask me a question. I'll get back with you. I read everything that anybody ever would, send me a comment on. And, that gives me a reason to read up and get more information. And so hopefully you guys out there are investing. Hopefully, you're, looking into, like I was talking about, generating wealth through dividends, through the covered calls. And again, one of these days, and I have one of my other YouTubers, Average Joe, who I watch, he's working on more covered calls. I have another YouTuber, Dark Dividend. He's about to start doing covered calls. I'm not there yet. I got a cousin who I turned on to the stock market. She's been doing calls and made a lot of money doing calls. I'm just not there yet and comfortable there yet. But I am comfortable with, for instance, the Yield Max. The Yield Max gave me 29 cents a share on the last month, which is a considerable amount. Some of the other ones give you even more, but I haven't felt comfortable buying something that has a lot of volatility, even though it gives you a high yield. But I'm going to continue to build the Apple Yield Max, because at 29 cents, I would say like every five shares, I would say. Is it five? Something like that. If I'm getting every 3 shares, I'm getting close to $1 a month. So you can look at 3x and it on that, If you want $10, then you're going to need, 30 shares, something like that. If you, or is it 30 shares? Yeah, something like that. If you want, you know, $100 a month, then you're looking at over 3,000 shares. But at a price of $20 a share, I think that's something that's very doable. So, yeah, enjoying the day out here. I see the ducks done came out. So, yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.